And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Ludes, and it is time to count down the top 10 cards under 100k MT in NBA 2K22 My Team. I wish I had a Watch Mojo voice, so you knew it was official, a voice you can put on in the background and just forget exists for a little while. I wish that was me. Look, you guys have watched these top 10 lists before. You know they're not actually top 10 lists. It's like top 14, but that doesn't sound as good on the title of the video. So I'm going to go ahead and count down 4 honorable mentions, and then we'll get to the top 10. Honorable mention number 1 is a card that kind of has been forgotten about due to all the really good cards that we've received recently, which would be Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson is one of the premier, I would say, budget bench shooting guards in the game. I mean, obviously you can run him in the starting lineup. I don't know what it is. It just feels better to run him off the bench. But Joe Johnson is fire. Like, 6'7", he's got the same release as Dolph Shays, which is wonderful. The badge count is immaculate. I mean, he's got pretty much everything that you would want on the offensive end in Hoff already ready to go. So there's not a whole lot that you really need from him or to give him. He's pretty much complete. I mean, most cards at this point in the year are going to be absolutely complete. There's really no point. I mean, for most of the year, it's been kind of like, oh, well, this card, I need to give him a couple badges and he'll be good, right? We're not at that point anymore. Pretty much every single card is going to come out with all the badges that you need. I need to shave, dude. It's making my face look round. Anyways, every card is going to have like every single badge in the game at this point. It's just a matter of like, what are the Hoff badges and what are the golds? And I would say, and this is a hot take, especially in the My Team community, there's not really too much of a difference between some of the Hoff badges and some of the gold badges. It really doesn't matter all that much. So, something to think about. But Joe Johnson can absolutely go get buckets. I think this Joe Johnson's still 40 years old, so his stamina is a little bit worse than some of the other cards in the game, but that's probably why I say he's a premier bench bucket getter for sure. Honorable mention number 2 is a card that once again has been forgotten about, and that is Big Magic out here. He's still a 6'9" point guard that plays really solid defense and can shoot. He can move. They switched his dribble style, which is really good, so he's not as sluggish as he was before. He's one of the more expensive cards on this list, which is the reason that I put him in the honorable mention. I think if this card was 50k, I would say, absolutely by all means go for it. But, he's a little bit more expensive than he should be. 6'9", I mean, he's got a great badge count. Most of the badges that you would like him to have are going to be gold as far as shooting badges, but he does have like sniper and stuff too. And look, I know a lot of people hate the Magic release. I personally think it's fine. Is it the most meta release in the game? No, but on very quick, I think it's really good. And we're not too far off from getting an invincible Magic, which, like, yeah, he'll be better, but at the same time, is it really the biggest deal in the world? No, dude, this Magic is totally fine as is. So, definitely go scoop him if you're interested in Magic. I mean, it's a good time to do so. Or you can wait till the Invincible comes out and you can pick this card up for pennies. Straight up, honorable mention number 3 is a card that a lot of people like. Actually, I'm very shocked about this, and that is Dark Matter Paul Pierce. Dark Matter Paul Pierce can hoop. He's a very good point guard. I am shocked to report this, to be honest. I mean, when he came out, I figured he'd be really solid on next gen, but he's actually rather decent on current gen, which is surprising. Like, is he good at the small forward? On current gen, no, because he can't shoot from the corners. He's going to step over the line and shoot 2s every time, which is not what you want on kickouts at all. But I've noticed a lot more cards this year will just kind of run over the line. Paul Pierce is a special case where even if you were to walk back and shoot, he's still not going to be able to shoot a corner 3. 2K has, for some reason, just refused to fix that or corners dropping at any point for the past 5 years. But, it is what it is. Now, that being said, Paul Pierce is good, dude. He's an electric player, straight up, which is a weird thing to say about a digital basketball card. But, he's electric, man. He has a very clean jump shot. I'm actually a big fan of Paul Pierce base on very quick on both current and next gen. But I would say this is one of the best next-gen point guards for under 100k. One of. Not the best, but one of. And on current gen, he's very usable as well. Final honorable mention is a card that I couldn't go without talking about. Come on, dude. Andre Karolinko. Once again, just like Magic, he's a little bit more expensive than a lot of cards on this list, which does kind of hold him back, especially being at a stacked position like small forward, power forward, where there's just so many good options to run. But AK is still going to be good until endgame. I think we do get an invincible AK this year, though. Calling it now. I think we get it. And I mean, he's going to be a lockdown defender. He's going to be able to shoot. He's going to dunk with the best of them. Like, he's good. There's not much to say about AK. We all know about AK. Base 98, solid, you know. Number 10 is an extreme budget card, but Drazen Petrovic. He's essentially upgraded Cassie Russell. There is nothing wrong with this card. This card is straight up heat. 6'5", like catch and shoot corner specialist. He's got Hoff clamps. He's got blinders, circus threes, limitless, chef, rhythm shooter, set shooter. Like, he's ridiculous. If you're a 3-point hunter, there's absolutely no card in this game that's going to be better for this price point. Like, not at all. You can get this card for like 7K MT. And I know there's inevitably always going to be a person who comes in here and is like, bro, you're always incorrect about the card prices. Okay, well, first off, I'm not. Drazen's closer to about 10 right now, but I guarantee he drops over the next 24 hours. That would be my assumption, especially once we get to Tuesday with the swish packs. So if you don't have a whole lot of MT, just wait a few days to pick up Drazen. He'll be like 7, 8K. He might go up, but I think he does drop because I guarantee they give us another shooting guard on Tuesday that'll drop his price. But either way, 10K for Drazen, worth it. Worthwhile. 100% worthwhile investment for sure. Number 9 is a card that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about, and that's Pascal Ciaco. Ciaco is good. You know, you can get him for around 40K. Certain cases you can get him for down at 30. It just kind of depends on the day that you're looking. Most of the time he's sitting right around 40K, which is fine. Now, Pascal Ciaco is a rare case where he plays equally well at both the positions that he's assigned. Right? Obviously, when you see like shooting guard small forwards, you know, like Rudy, you know, of course they're going to play equally well at both positions, but Pascal being two wildly different positions and him still playing well at both of them is rare, for sure. If you need a shooting guard, Pascal will hold it down. He's not the greatest shooting guard in the world, but he's very good. 6'9", he's huge, you know. And at power forward, yeah, he's like a couple inches shorter than you would like, but he can definitely hold it down there too, especially with like Hoff rim protector, you know, all the defensive badges that he does have. He is an A++ defender and like an A- offensive threat. And if that's what you're looking for, go grab him. Number 8, one of my absolute favorite cards in the game. He is in my triple threat squad that I've been running all day and have yet to lose with. Bobby Jones. Bobby Jones is great. I love this card. This card is fantastic, straight up. If you can, try to go pick one up with unlimited contracts because they do exist and they're not that much cheaper or not that much more expensive than the other cards on this list. Like this one's got unlimited contracts and an unlimited shoe. For only 76,000. So if you were to swap yours out, you would only lose a couple thousand MT, which I think is absolutely worth it at the end of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and do that actually while we're here. I'll lose 7K MT. I really don't care. You know what I mean? For the unlimited contract, it's worthwhile, I think. Now, Bobby Jones is straight up nasty. Like he is. He plays extremely competent defense, if not outright fantastic defense. In addition to that, like, he's a pretty competent offensive threat. He can move a little bit. His jump shot is very clean. Like, there's nothing wrong with this card. Like, he is straight up awesome. Like, I'm a huge fan of this card. I cannot speak highly enough about this card. He's great. Regardless what your budget level, like Bobby Jones can come in and just straight up like wreck your squad. Like he can. Number 7 is a card that every year we get one of these cards at the end of the year. In the last 2 years, they've been fantastic, and that's Kyle Korver, dude. For some reason, it's not coming up, and I don't know why. But he definitely exists. Apparently, this is a card that I can't search, but whatever. Kyle Korver is roughly around 40 to 50K. Sometimes you can get him as low as 30. It just kind of depends. Kyle Korver is one of the best shooting guards for that price point. Everything I said about Joe Johnson, I would say goes just the same, if not straight up double for Kyle Korver, because I think his movement is a little bit better than Joe Johnson. I personally like his jump shot a little bit more. He plays lockdown defense. He can attack the rim. He's obviously got one of the better jumpers in the game, both off the catch and shoot and off the dribble. Kyle Korver is an absolute menace. Wild. We should not be having a card that's looks like Kyle Korver that moves as well as he does. Then we got Lance Stevenson, who for whatever reason I also can't search. I don't know what's going on there. I think the auction house is just broken for some reason. I don't know. 2K has been not allowing us to search for certain cards, so Lance Stevenson's another card that I can't search for some reason, but no worries. Lance Stevenson is fantastic. He's probably one of, if not the best, point guard under 50K in the game. Like at this current time. 6'5", lockdown defender, great jump shot. He attacks the rim. He obviously plays defense. He can move. There's not a single thing wrong with this card. Anyone who tells you that this card sucks has not used it. I promise that is the case. No joke. He's electric. Number 5 is going to be a surprising card coming from me, but Hero Steph. I've never been a big Steph guy in my team. This card is ridiculous. Like, this card is so good. And obviously, in these budget card lists, like free cards like Malik Steely, Drew Holiday, who's another free? Oscar Robertson for tokens. Those guys aren't included here, but also fantastic options as well. Curry is straight up nasty. I'm not kidding. Like, Curry can cook anyone on both current gen and next gen. Obviously, he's got one of the best off the dribble jumpers in the game. His leaner is insane. He can move really well, and he's actually a pretty competent defender. Look, if you're looking for a point guard that's going to score first, ask questions later, look at my man Steph. Obviously, look at Steph. He's going to be the best. Number 4, I'm not even going to search him because he's right here. Rudy. Rudy. I mean, he's a Rudy that he plays shooting guard. Like, what do you want from me? I've been hyping Rudy all year long. Like, since the pink diamond that we got in December, he's been featured on at least this list or the budget card list in some capacity ever since then. So I'm not going to go too in depth on Rudy, but he's one of the premier small forwards in this game, especially at the price that he's going for, which is roughly around 65 to 70K, which I think is worth it. It is, if you're going to play at a competitive level. If not, just wait a few weeks. He'll be like 40K. And he'll still be good. Next up, you already know, number 3, it's Jonathan Isaac. Jonathan Isaac is one of the best power forwards you can buy in this game under 100K. He's basically just a slightly better version than his Opal, but he dribbles a lot better, and I think that's what propels him into the upper echelon of like cards. You could do so much worse than running Jonathan Isaac. He's great. Like, he's great. Jump shot's a little bit slow. That's kind of the only gripe I have with Jonathan Isaac, you know. Other than that, he's sick. Look at his hair, dude. What is going on right now? I look like JoJo's... Was it JoJo's Bizarre? I look like JoJo. That's what I mean. I look like I'm in a 50s doo-wop group, dude. I'm about to croon out here. This is pretty cool. I've never had my hair stand up that hard before. That was nice. Jonathan Isaac's great. You should pick him up. That's all I got to say about that. Next up, number 2, a card I don't have, but is worthwhile to pick up, and that is Hero Dwyane Wade. Now, everything I said about Steph does go for Hero Dwyane Wade as well. I think what Hero Dwyane Wade brings to you over Steph is, you know, obviously less imposing shooting, but much better defense. He moves a little bit better. The jump shots, I think, are a wash. I think Curry base and base 98 this year are a wash. I think most people would say base 98 is slightly better, but it really doesn't matter. It's really personal preference on that one. But Dwyane Wade is really good. He can play either position, and he is a TTO demon, dude. If you run Dwyane Wade with, like, at least one competent screen setting center, like an Embiid, or who's another one that could set very effective screens? Thurman, I was going to say Thurman, but he does not set screens. Dino sets really good screens. Shaq, like any of those guys. Like, you can cook anybody in TTO with that. But Dwyane Wade is fantastic all around. He's definitely worth running. Is he completely better than Steph at the point guard? I mean, it's really personal preference. I think Dwyane Wade is the better overall card, which is why he's here. And number 1 is controversial. I think most people may not agree with this sentiment, but number 1 is Nate Thurman. Nate Thurman is ridiculous, dude. And for this price, that's why he made it to number 1. This card is fantastic. He can play the power forward, and he plays it really well. He's my starting power forward and my number 1 TTO scorer, 100%. He can move, he can shoot. His jump shot is a little bit iffy, I will say, but once you get it down, it's money. It's water once you get it down. He does release it at kind of a low point, so it's easy to contest, but at the same time, like, Nate Thurman brings to you the absolute most that you could possibly get brought from a 6'11 dude. Like, he moves, he's fast, he dunks, he sets screens. Granted, not the best screens in the world. I did just talk about I have problems with it, but screens nonetheless. Like I said, he can dribble, he can do everything. Like, nobody this big should be moving at the level that Nate Thurman does, and he moves. Badges I recommend giving him: difficult shots, because you could easily run out of the post and hit turnaround mid-ranges, like, all day. Hyperdrive, quick chain, Chef would be beneficial for him. Now, there are badges that I think he does kind of need for sure. I gave him like all the gold badges that I possibly could. Like, you know what I mean? So He does need some badges, but once you badge up Nate Thurman, he is chef's kiss fantastic. As always, has been your boy Cheap Loots. Let me know if any of these guys have helped you improve your team. I'm going to do the top 10 budget cards on Tuesday because I think we're going to get some budget demons on Tuesday. But just in case that we don't, and I don't end up giving you that list, some budget guys that are really cheap to look out for. Mikan's really good at the shooting guard and really good at the center position, especially on a budget. There's really not that many budget centers, so Mikan, for the price that he's going for, which is like our 10K or under, is completely worth it, I would say. That's my own opinion. If you're looking extreme budget, Chris Anderson isn't half bad at the center position. Jalen Greene is really good. Jalen Greene is solid, and he is obviously more expensive, but I wanted to send him out. Budget-wise, Danny Ferry for under 25K is a steal. I mean, he's around 10, and that's a steal for him. He's still really, really good. As far as the Galactic guys, Juwan Howard's really good. He's worth picking up. Ray Allen's okay. Marbury's a very good budget point guard. I didn't cover John Wall, but John Wall's still very good. As far as the unfazed guys, Walter Davis, I talked about Drazen. Eddie Jones is really good. Honestly, Popeye Jones, even though he looks super unwieldy, is really, really solid as well. And Roy Hibbert's not half bad. So, you know, if you want to grab any of those guys, go right ahead and have a good night. Peace.